This sort of triggering can happen, but it's not very common. And I'm sure it was much more damaging as a result. And so what we've seen so far from the earthquake is that it's more complex than many earthquakes that happen. A lot of different faults seem to have ruptured. So you can think of this quake as unusual because a magnitude 6.8 is bigger than anything that's been detected by humans on this fault system. And shallow earthquakes are worse because people are closer to the slip and they're closer to the shaking. Here, the earthquake itself took about 75 seconds. The shaking probably lasted for much longer because the ground is still reacting to that initial rupture. Unfortunately, we cannot say that people are safe. The time after an earthquake is the time when there is most likely to be another earthquake. There's no guarantee, and probably the part of the fault that already slipped will not slip again. But the parts of the fault next to it are now under extra stress. And I think Turkey is probably especially aware of this risk because of the situation of the North Anatolian Fault. Earthquakes are inevitable. Right? We can't stop them and we can't even predict them. But we can learn about them. We can learn about how big they can be and what their effects will be. And we can learn about which places are at higher risk than others. And with those tools, we can become safer. People look at Turkey all the time in geology classes because it's a really fascinating tectonic environment, because what's happening is the Arabian Plate is colliding northward into Eurasia. And instead of building giant mountains like what we see in the Himalaya or in Iran or in the Alps, in Turkey there's something called extrusion tectonics, which means that these two fault systems have developed at an angle to each other, the North Anatolian and the East Anatolian Fault, and Western Turkey is squeezing out of the way.